Hello everyone, Dr. Stephen Mujay here. I did post a video earlier explaining the instructions for the assignments that you have this week, but it seems like there were some issues with that link, so I'm sending another recording here explaining those assignments. I've received a few questions regarding this week's assignments. You do have this assignment here where you are creating users and groups in both the Linux and Windows environments. So as you can see for this assignment, you are creating at least 2 user accounts. And then after you have completed this assignment, the other assignment that you also have this week deals with files and folder permissions that you assign to those groups. Okay, so that is what you'll be doing. And in order to do that, you'll be carrying those assignments on both the Windows and Linux environment. So I'm going to demonstrate this in this video from the Windows environment. I do have a Windows machine right here, and I know that this does not have all the roles that you have been working on. This simply has a DDS and DNS on your servers. At this point, you should have these two as well as DHCP, since you are also working on DHCP. All right, so in week 1, you did install these the server 2012, so it should be up and running. In week 2, we added these different roles, and then in week 3, we are zooming in and using those specific roles. And the first role is that of Active Directory users and accounts, Active Directory users and computers. That gives you the ability to add users and groups within Active Directory. Okay, so you can see I do have my server, and this is the name. The domain name is Canyon ITT121, right? And it's on the Mujay _server. That's the name for this. In your assignments, you gave the servers the appropriate names based on the organization that you were assigned. All right, so excuse me, from the Windows environment, after you have installed Active Directory, you go into you go in here, and you can see that I have added some users. In Windows, the process of adding users is very simple and straightforward. So there are some users that I added. What I simply did in this class is I went to the class roster, and then I added a few users based on the class roster. You can see I have Amy, who shows up first on our class roster, and then I have, let's see, Diana is also in here as a user, and then I have Eliza. That's another user. I think I have Jeff somewhere. Yeah, there is Jeff. So those are the 4 users that I have added. I can add another user real quick. Again, I'm looking at the class roster. I think at the the next one is Johan. Okay, the last name is Innocent. All right, for the username, I'll put J Innocent. At the domain name, Canyon ITT121.local. I'll click next, and on here I'll give John the password. When you edit, make sure that it meets the complexity requirements. Oh, those are not going to match. All right, and for new users, I always go with the option of our users must change the password at next logon. That way you share with the user what the initial user was, and then they'll select the one they want at the next log on. But there are some other options like user cannot change password, password never expires. So you can select whichever one works with you. Then I'll finish. Now you can see that user now is added to the there's an account for that user. So in your situation, you are making up 10 user accounts. And then after that, I can also create groups. And in terms of groups, how you can the scope, domain, local, or global, that's either, I mean, that should be fine. I'll go with a global group, and then the group type security is good. Distribution is used for emails. So I will say for this group, I'll give it the name ITT121 assignments. And then click OK. Notice that security group is created for ITT assignments. And then so that's the this is where you go to create users and groups, pretty much at the same process. And actually I could double click that group, and then for the members, notice there are no members at this point, so I'm going to add some members. I'm going to add Amy, since she's the first one. I'll click check. There is Amy. Click OK. Apply. OK. So now Amy is a member of that group. If I were to right click on the name Amy, or on her account, I should say, and then go to member of, you'll now notice that she's a member of the ITT assignment groups. So you can, I like the fact that you have, Microsoft gives you several options. You can add your users from the group, or I'll go to the last user that I selected, properties, member of. Right now, this one is only a member of the domain users. I could click add, and then I'll look for ITT121. Check names. There is the ITT121 assignments. This is the group. I'll click OK, apply. So now John has been added to that. You can add users to a group either from the user itself or from the group. Either option works. So if I were to go back and go to properties, members, now you can see that all those users are listed. I can add other users that I have. I believe I have Diana, check names. I'll add Diana, and then I can do that. Eliza. All right, check names, click OK. The next one that I have is Jeff. All right, so all these users have been added to that group. I had created other groups as well, like the IT students. If I go to properties, then members, you can see these are the members of that group, except for Jan that I just created now. I can go ahead and add him to that group as well. So now I have 5 members within that group. But in the real world, you won't necessarily have all users in certain groups. Only users who pertain to that group are the ones that get added. The next thing that I want to do is now I'm on the server. Notice that I do have some folders that I created. I have the research and development. I have the budget group. The budget folder that I create. So if I go to the budget folder and then go to properties, sharing, you can see that this is a shared folder. So anyone over the internet who has the right permissions should be able to gain access to this folder. If I go to security, notice that you can assign it to users or groups. The better way to do that would be to assign permissions to groups. So in your situation, you are having at least one folder for each user, but you need to give IT full control to all the folders that you are creating. So for instance, on this budget folder, I have IT students on there, and you can see that IT students have full control to the group, to the budget group. The same thing applies to finance. You want all the people from the finance department having full control, but you can edit those permissions. If you want to take away full control, you can do so. That way now, oh, I think I did it with the system users. Let's say I want to take okay, make sure the certain group that you want is selected. Like in this case, I have the finance group selected. I'm going to take away some permissions from them. I want to leave them with simply the read. I don't even want them to make changes to the folders in there. So I'll apply and then click OK. So anyone in the finance group is going to have the read permissions when they access this folder or any files within this folder. That's the permission that I have assigned. And I'll just add another group on here, another folder, I should say, on here. So I'll go to folders, and then let's give it the name assignments. And then I'll go to share with. I'm going to share this with specific people. Let's see, I'm going to share it with IT students. Okay, so that's shared with IT students. From here, I'm going to give them the read-write permissions. And then now that folder is shared, I'll click done. Now, anyone in the IT students, when they refresh their computers, they should be able to see the assignments as long as they are logged onto the network. You can go to properties under security. You'll notice that the IT students are in there, and then you can edit. You can further edit their permissions from here, depending with how much permissions you want to give them. So that's adding, we added users, and then we created folders, and then set the permissions for those folders from the Windows environment. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll share another link or another video about how you can do this from the Linux environment, since this is based on off of the Windows environment. Thank you, and play with it, have fun with it, and enjoy it. God bless you.